We are live, the NFL edition of the West Coast Draft Podcast. We're back with a vengeance. It's myself, Beau Gleason. Rob Jokinen will not be joining us because if you watched last night's episode, you know he's on the road. But I have something even better. It's the boy Daniel Lisenby is here. No offense, Rob. He'll watch this back later and he'll get offended. That wasn't meant as a shot at you, Rob. You're chilling. But my boy Daniel Lisenby is here. Excited. I know he's got some thoughts on the Lions game. He's
Oh
got some
man.
thoughts on the number one defense coordinator in the NFL, Aaron Glenn, that will be going over. That
Shut up,
list doesn't even
man.
feel real. And then
Clown.
we'll talk playoffs, and then we'll get into the last batch of picks for the year. Unless we do it in play, we might do it in the one with the playoffs roll around too. Keep it rolling through that. But before we get started, how are you doing today, Mister Daniel?
I'm doing well, man, and I'm excited for Rob to make his triumphant return so he can take me out on a bro date. I'm thinking I want him to take me to the Met. I'm feeling a nice, expensive steak. It's really,
That's
really get his wallet screaming.
You know what? And that's where it should be. And that's where it should be. Because what was that for? Was that for when you picked the Panthers to beat the Falcons and got it right?
It was for that, and because I was the only one to pick the Seahawks to beat the Eagles that week.
Oh, that's right. That's
It was
right.
before that Seahawks game that I texted Rob. I was like, if Seattle wins this, you owe me like dinner or something. Because I actually stuck up for his team and said that they were going to come out and they were going to play well that game. And
hmm
Rob was like, no, the Eagles are going to win. I don't believe in my team. And here we are today.
Well, here you go. Here you go. Well, if you watch the Seahawks play the Steelers, you'd know why he didn't believe in them team. But that's neither here nor there. Before we get into a little bit of a Week 17 recap, though, I do have to ask. Um, the Huskies played obviously on Monday, and they will be playing again on Monday against your old hometown team,
It's
as
true.
well. Where were you on Monday night? What was your reaction to the win, and what's your prediction for next Monday?
I was at a Dave and Buster's on Monday watching the game. And I was watching the refs try to give the game to Texas on that last drive, which was really annoying.
Mm,
And the Huskies never fail to give us heart attacks. But the
no,
thing with the
true.
Huskies, man, is they're the one team I follow this year. No matter what kind of heart attacks they give us, I'm so cocky about them. Like I know going in they're gonna win. Like offensively, they're way too good at football, dude.
Mm,
Like
hmm
that's a team that can score. You can almost expect them to get 40 points a game.
Oh yeah,
Most
that's
other
fair.
college programs aren't going to match UW's offensive output, no matter how
hmm
trash our defense plays. On a drive to drive basis, our offense is always going to show up in some capacity. It's so
hmm
fast paced. Michael Penix Jr. has been so efficient. Romo Dunze is a beast receiver. The old lineman is ridiculous, dude.
hmm
Like
Yeah,
you
they played
can't
one of the Texas had one of the best D lines in the country, and they didn't give a single
exactly,
sack. So.
exactly. You cannot stop this. Like this offense, man, is a wagon. You cannot
mhm.
stop them. And you know what? I'll even make the prediction right now. Like, what's kind of funny is Michigan versus Huskies. That's like my dream natty matchup.
hmm
I think the Huskies win, man. I think Huskies
hmm
should honestly be favored. Like,
Yeah.
Michigan's a great team. Can they stop the wagon that is UW's offense? I don't think so. No one else has been able to.
No one else is, Michigan will be the best defense the Huskies have played this year, but they've played better offenses. Oregon was better offense than Michigan. Texas is better offense than Michigan, and the Huskies were just able to outscore those teams. So I personally don't see why Monday night will be any different. But one more quick question for you before we do get into Week 17. The streak is over. The Pistons won a game. How do you feel?
Doesn't matter because now they're on like a 3 game losing streak or something.
Again?
They're the most
Already?
dude. They're the reason I don't watch the NBA anymore, man. Like they're so worthless. They're the most worthless sports franchise, except for maybe the Panthers, like the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dave he's got some things to say as far as the worst owner in the country discussion. But man, Tom Gore, Tom Gores is what's the word? He's notorious for being a cokehead.
It's got the Jim Irsay going.
A little bit. Not as stored as Jim Irsay though.
Not
He
storied.
he took over the team in 2011, 12, I think. It was like a few years after Bill Davidson passed away. And ever since
Mm-hmm.
then, the Detroit Pistons have just been the joke of basketball. Like they're,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, screw them.
Screw them. That's right. That's right. If team hurts you, just say screw them and move on until they get good again,
I got
which
other better teams to watch across all
that's
sports,
true.
bro.
That is true. Like
The
your
Edmonton
NFL
Oilers.
team and the Edmonton Oilers. That is true. That is true also. Um, but yeah, well, let's get right into it then. Let's get right into let's get right into talking week 17 here. Hold on, I guess you gotta tune some stuff. Perfect. So NFL week 17. Some good games in here, some fun games, and some less fun games. We'll just go in order. The New York Jets go into Cleveland, and they get absolutely throttle busted. I just made up that word. Throttle busted by Joe Flacco. Is Joe Flacco elite? This is my question. Is Joe Flacco elite?
Of course, man. Best quarterback in the NFL
Best quarterback in the
at
NFL.
nearly
I
40
agree.
years old.
Nearly. I will. I mean, and obviously joke when I say that, but he has been playing really well. He does still have a bunch of dumb turnovers, just like he did in Baltimore. And I just don't. I still don't think that when the stage gets bright in the playoffs, he's getting meltdown. But I'll give the Browns credit. They're taking care of business. They're the 5 seed in the AFC. Hats off to them. They kept fighting after the Watson injury, after the Chubb injury. They've had so many injuries, and they're still chugging along. Credit where credit's due. They're not a Super Bowl contender. Sorry, not even close. They're gonna lose in the wild card round. Not the wild card round. They're gonna lose in the divisional round because they're gonna play like the Jaguars in the wild card round. Whatever. But credit where credit's due to Cleveland. They will win a playoff game this year. And then they'll be watching on the couch in January, just like Cincinnati is. And I'm not bitter about that at all. Not
You
not
know what,
not
though? Pretty
even
good
a little.
season for Cleveland, all things considered.
No, very good season for Cleveland, honestly. Um, this was kind of their all-in year. So if they don't win a Super Bowl, they're screwed because the Deshaun cap hits really start slamming them next season. So maybe they know that. Maybe they just go all in. Maybe they do make a Super Bowl and lose to the Niners probably. But um, who knows, right? Who knows? This is the year to do it because it ain't gonna be next year. They're kind of the same boat as the Huskies, where it's like everything kind of feels like team of destiny, magical run, and it ain't gonna be the same next year because not everyone's gonna be there. So make it happen while you can, Cleveland. For the Jets, your season's over, so who cares? Um, Aaron Rodgers will be back. Jimmy Kimmel, unfortunately, will not be. Thankfully, Jimmy Kimmel records his shows in LA. Otherwise, that would be a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
Dude, I was literally just about to bring up the Aaron Rodgers Jimmy Kimmel controversy. That's the most Aaron Rodgers shit I think I've seen in a while, man.
It doesn't make it like what? That's such a random shot, and also for legal purposes, Jimmy Kimmel was not in the Epstein files. I should mention, name was not in there. But why? It's so random. It's just so random. Like I know, Kimmel made fun of him for like the vax stuff way back when. But why is Rogers making that now? Why is he making that joke now, like 2 years later? That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, man hasn't been playing football all year. He's got to get attention somehow, right?
Yeah, he's probably pretty bored. He's probably, I mean, every single week when he goes on the McAfee show, though, that's like that's when the viewership for the McAfee show skyrockets, though. So he's not hurt. He's not hurting for attention. He's not hurt for attention.
True.
Um,
Yeah, man, I got no other thoughts on that game. Jets suck. Browns are pretty good, having a good
yeah,
season.
yeah, agreed. Now let's get to a game that I know you will have thoughts on. I'm actually just gonna let you just totally take flight on this one because I actually, unfortunately, was not able to see a ton of this game. I saw the highlights and I saw the controversy parts, but you watched it live, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Patriots, they start off really well with that opening kickoff. I'm kidding. The opening kickoff return, Josh Allen,
Yeah,
like 0 for 10 to start the half. Nah, man. Bro, I spent $8 for the plain Wi-Fi, right, to watch this Detroit Dallas game. Bro, I hate the Cowboys so much. I really fucking hate that team. If it wasn't for Green Bay, Dallas would be my least favorite team. I know I
Hmm.
said maybe earlier in the year that Chicago was below the Cowboys. Not anymore. If the Bears played the Cowboys tomorrow, I'd probably root for the Bears. And the only reason I'd say that, I hate both those teams, but with the Bears, it's like optimal mayhem. Just because
Hmm.
you wouldn't expect Chicago to really win that matchup, you know?
Hmm.
That's of course just hypothetical. But man, like this game, if 2014, that playoff game where they picked up the PI flag, that game
Hmm.
didn't make me hate the Cowboys enough. This game made me hate the Cowboys. And the funny thing is, like, I don't know, that ref call at the end with the 2 point conversion, like honestly, bit of a hot take, but to be honest, I think the ref just like made a simple mistake. I
I
think
think you just got confused. But if
like
you're an NFL referee, you can't get confused in that situation.
yeah, I
Like,
was watching. There was a buddy of mine that sent like a pro football talk video that was kind of like the two guys were going over like what happened with like Taylor Decker reporting and Dan Skipper and all that other stuff.
hmm.
And they were basically arguing that Detroit, by trying to confuse Dallas on that 2 point conversion, they ended up confusing the refs. So they
Hmm.
argued that there is some liability on the Lions and there's some accountability to be had there. And I think to an extent that's true. And I also understand that the refs are part time, whatever. They're not, I guess, like technically they're not expected to do too much. But the thing with the referees, though, that I think some people don't get is that if you have that kind of national spotlight, like on one hand, there is a lot of pressure to get certain calls right. And sometimes you do kind of fumble it. But I mean, I think there maybe should be some accountability. And I did, but you know what? I did see. I want to backtrack a little bit. I did see an argument earlier this morning from someone that mentioned that if the refs were to get some accountability for some of these missed calls, they'd probably end up just quitting and not refing
Hmm.
the next season because they're part-time employees.
Yeah.
So in a sense, the NFL is kind of obligated to protect them. And I don't know, like I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but the reason is because there isn't really a clear cut point to make about that. There's so many opinions going around. Like there's opinions going around that the league hates Detroit. They want to rig games for Dallas, whatever. Jerry Jones put in some fucking Venmo payment or like sent Brad Allen like
Said the Zell.
some like send him some like stock in like ETF stocks or whatever. I don't know, man. There's like shit like that, and there's shit from Cowboys fans on the other end that are like, well, Detroit, the missed a tripping call on Aiden Hutchinson or whatever, like the play before, and Detroit was stupid enough to go for two again.
Hmm.
So there's so many opinions going on around that, and I think my after a few days after the game happened, my general opinion after that play is just that honestly, I think the ref made a mistake. There's a lot of pressure going on. The NFL isn't going, they're going to protect their refs because they don't want to hold them too accountable as they're part time. They don't want the
Hmm.
refs quitting. It's very rare that they bring in new refs. Like, how often do they bring in new refs? Is it like every few years or so?
Yeah, I think every year, or not every year, but every couple of years, one crew will retire and they'll usually promote from within. They've got like training programs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's pretty uncommon to get new refs in. It seems like it's a pretty hard process in the first place.
Hmm.
So, it's like they're not going to risk a referee quitting on the spot after getting shat on by, the league or whatever.
Hmm.
Like, and I understand that. And ultimately, the game's done. It's whatever. The ref screwed up or not. The Lions tried to confuse the refs or not. But I think ultimately, people just got confused. The Lions, to an extent, did kind of play themselves. But I think it was well intentioned. I think the play design itself was fine. It's just sometimes that shit happens, and it is what it is. Dan
Hmm.
Campbell trying to go for it for two again. I know some people are arguing he should have just gone for the extra point or whatever. It's Dan Campbell. Let
Yeah.
him be aggressive, man. If he converts one of those other 2 point attempts, you call him a genius. This is why, man, I hate when people argue that coaches are being too aggressive or they're not being aggressive enough. Because here's the thing is most fans want their coaches to be aggressive like Dan Campbell is, right? People want to see their teams go for it on fourth down. There's always a risk to that. You either get the fourth down or you don't get the fourth down. If you get the fourth down, you hail the coach as a genius. Like, for example, we
Hmm.
went for a fake punt within our own 30-yard line. I think like Jalen Reeves may even took the snap. He threw a pass to Khalil Dorsey and it went for like a 30-yard fourth down conversion off of a fake punt. Imagine that play fails. Dan Campbell's an idiot, but the play works. So Dan Campbell's a genius now.
Hmm.
Like, you get what I mean, man? Like, that argument is so arbitrary. Just let the coaches coach, man. If the coach wants to be more conservative, they're going to be more conservative. Personally, I think it's more fun that my coach wants to be aggressive, like Dan Campbell. That's more entertaining for me. So whether it fails or whether these other, 2-point conversions after the callback, even if that's like too aggressive or whatever, I prefer that than just going for the extra point. And then, because here's the thing, you go for the extra point, you make it, you tie the game. There's a chance, there's like over 20 seconds left. There's a chance that Dak Prescott leads the Cowboys down the field. Brandon Aubrey, we know he can nail like 80 yarders. He's crazy, man. He can still get a game winning field goal. Or if we go to overtime, Dallas can still win the coin toss and take it down the field for a touchdown. You never know what the hell's going to happen, man. So like the people that are complaining about that, like, nah, man,
Hmm.
that's not the right argument to make. You want to complain about the refs, fair enough, because there's so much subjectivity behind that. You can complain about the refs if you want. Don't complain about Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell because these same fans damn well know if one of those 2-point conversion attempts goes through, they're gonna praise him as a genius. But oh, it failed. So it's all Dan Campbell's fault. It's not the players. Hell, not even Ben Johnson. Nope, all Dan Campbell. He made the call.
Hmm.
They failed. His fault. Whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, man. I mean, the game itself, the defense was the defense. I feel like I say this after every single Lions game, win or lose. The defense was the defense. Derek Barnes, bro, did you see that missed tackle?
I
Like that
actually didn't. Hold on.
safety? It turned into a 90-yard touchdown for CeeDee Lamb, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you can't make this shit up. That is the Detroit defense in a nutshell. That is our defense, man. It's so bad. It's so bad, dude. I will say,
Hmm.
though, our run defense, huge. And it was a reason Dallas scored only 20 points. Run defense came up huge. I will give him credit for that.
That's a Tony Pollard fantasy owner. I could see that one. I could see that one. Thankfully, I was in the championship. Um, but
But yeah.
yeah, yeah. Any
Besides
more
that,
thoughts on
man,
this one?
offense was decent. A little inconsistent, but it's the Cowboys defense. I didn't expect our offense to move the ball consistently. It's kind of weird. Like, I know I'm rambling a lot. And I think the reason I'm rambling so much is because I'm still trying to figure out what to make of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess ultimately what I really make of it is fuck it, on to the next one. Just so
On
much
to the next
weird
one.
crap, so many weird optics from that matchup that I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. Fuck the Cowboys. Move on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really all you could really take from that, right?
Yeah.
So, um, moving on here, then we'll go to the Sunday games. Um, New England Buffalo, like you said, Patriots started hot in this one. I thought they might be able to be about to sweep the Bills. They did not. Didn't even really come close. The final score in this one was closer than the game actually was. Bills are on a heater right now. Their defense has been playing a lot better too. They're giving up yards, but like forcing turnovers, turning some of those into pick sixes. They've been playing really good football as of late. Those Buffalo Bills, they still might not make the playoffs.
I know,
They
right?
also still might be the number two seed in the AFC. So it's kind of crazy how that works. Yeah, they're
Bills
11
had
and
a weird
5.
season, huh?
Yeah, if the Bills win on Sunday night, they're the two seed.
Hmm.
If they lose, there's a chance they're out of the playoffs entirely, which is wild to think about.
That is insane, man. That is really
Yeah.
insane.
What a year. What a year.
Dude, I don't even know. I mean, all I really know from that game is the first half, both quarterbacks sucked. And
Mhm.
like you said, the score wasn't really as close as it says on there. But honestly, Buffalo didn't really play their best game
No, they didn't. They
from
didn't.
what I heard. And New England, man, like jokes aside, they're pretty bad this year.
They're
Just a
horrible.
little bit.
Yeah. Well, they'll get a new quarterback next year, and then they'll be fine. And a new coach. It'll be interesting to see what
Yeah.
direction Bob Kraft goes in for the coaching search. He hasn't had to do one of those in a long time. So,
Yeah, man.
um, Falcons, Bears
Bro,
going up to the Windy City, the snowy Windy City, and just got absolutely torched by land and by sea and by air by one Mr. Justin Fields.
Dude, I endearingly call the Falcons now the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
They're so infuriating, man.
no,
How have they
no.
not fired Arthur Smith yet?
I don't know, man. They have all this offensive talent and they instead decide to just misuse it. It's like, how? How do
Those
you?
assholes can still make the playoffs, you know that?
They can. They can because the NFC South is so bad. It's just,
Whatever, man.
it's ridiculous. They have, in the past three drafts, they have used top eight picks on Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and yet their offense revolves around Ty Algier and Jonnu Smith. How does that happen?
Arthur Smith, baby.
Arthur Smith, I guess. And their defense, I mean, defense was horrible in this game, obviously, but Justin Fields was on a heater.
I think
But
Jesse Bates had a really good year for him.
Jesse Bates had a very good year for him. He was I think he was the leading vote getter among all safeties for the Pro Bowl.
For him.
He was awesome for him. Credit. I miss Jesse Bates, but point being, because I don't want to think about it too much. The Yeah, I don't know. Falcons just totally shat the bed in this one. Dropped to 7-9. They are again, like you said, still in it for the NFC South, but which is funny because they're behind the Bears, who are eliminated. Um, are still in it for the NFC South. I think if they win, because they play the Saints. So if they beat the Saints, they'll have swept them. So then they'll be out, despite them both being 8-9. And then if the Bucks lose, but it would require the Bucks to lose to the Panthers, which evaluate the likelihood of that happening. Doesn't seem particularly likely, but who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe Panthers want to get a little frisky. Anyways, actually, so if the Bucks beat the Panthers and the Saints beat the Falcons, let's use this for example. So they would both be 8-8 with 4-2 division record. So then you'd go to conference record, which would be 7-5 versus 6-6. So yeah, if the Bucks win, they win the NFC South, basically,
Yeah.
is what I'm taking from that. So, and they're playing the Panthers. So it would take a 2021 Colts level of meltdown for that not to happen. However, we have seen 2021 Colts meltdowns in the past. For example, the 2021 Colts. So,
For example, man.
for example. So the Bucks do have the inside track, but you're like you said, the Falcons, if they lose, the winner of Falcons Saints is the NFC South champion, which is weird. Um I did not watch a single second of Raiders Colts.
I heard I heard kind of like the Bills Patriots game wasn't as close to score indicated. The Colts kind of dominated it,
Hmm.
which doesn't surprise me. Colts are honestly though, I'd say they're both pretty well coached at this point. I think the Colts are a little more consistent right now just because they've had
Hmm.
Steichen for the whole year. The Raiders are stuck with Josh McDaniels for a little bit.
Hmm.
I
Make
don't know,
up for
man. I mean,
lost
the Colts
time.
are still in it, right? They can still win the division. Actually,
No, yeah, because I think all three of them, let me pull up the standings here. I think
they're
the
all 9-7.
Texans, they're all 9-7. Yeah, Jags, Texans, and Colts are all 9-7. Of course, the Colts and Texans play each other on Saturday, so whoever loses that one's obviously eliminated
Yeah.
um from division contention. I don't think they're eliminated from playoff contention. Maybe Houston is. I'm not gonna. We'll look it up later.
It's a lot of
Point
technical
being though,
powers at that point.
yeah. Maybe they've got it on this article here. Um, no, it doesn't have it on there. We'll find it. We'll find it in a minute. But yeah, Colts still very much in it to potentially win the NFC South, which or AFC South, I mean. Um, which yeah, good for them. Raiders eliminated, obviously they have been. Or I don't know. I think they were officially eliminated this week. I don't think they were eliminated previously.
Yeah, I think it was this
Um,
week.
but you know, they yeah, they made up ground under Antonio Pierce, so credit where credit's due. Um, any more thoughts on that one?
Rams? I got nothing else, man.
All right. Rams Giants. Rams clinched a playoff spot off of a Giant missed field goal as time expired. They were this close. But credit where credit's due. Matthew Stafford is going to the postseason. They have the inside track for the sixth seed. And guess who's sitting in the three seed right
That's what
now?
I'm saying, man. They're trying to set up this whole Lions Rams
Yeah,
matchup, and I'm for it, dude. I really want to play the Rams.
yeah,
I want
that's what's
Stafford
gonna
back in
happen.
Ford Field.
I'm pretty sure the only way it doesn't happen is if the Cowboys and Eagles both lose.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
think
then if
that's
Detroit wins, and Detroit would be the two seed.
yeah, that's the only way it doesn't happen. Yeah, otherwise, because the Rams are pretty much because the Rams did lose to the Packers. So if the Rams lost to the Niners and the Packers beat the Packers beat the Bears to get to 9-8, then I guess the Rams move down to the 7th seed and the Packers move up.
Yeah,
But then again, if the Seahawks do the same thing, then they've got, a little bit of a tiebreaker situation going there as well. Seahawks are playing the Cardinals. So then it becomes a three-way tiebreaker between the Rams, Packers, and Seahawks. And that would go to conference record, I believe, which the Rams would have the advantage in. But no, in this case, they would have lost. They'd be 7-5, 7-5, and 7-5. This is actually, you know what I'm gonna do? We're pulling up the playoff machine. Here we go. Let's do a scenario here. The Rams lose, Seahawks win. There's a Seahawks and Packers win. Nope. In that case, and let's just say, yeah, the Cowboys win and the Eagles win too. Wherever the Eagles are. They're there. Yeah, in that case, you do miss out on Stafford going to Detroit. But if okay, so Seahawks actually don't really matter in that equation. So you'd
whatever
be
you
rooting
want.
for the Seahawks. You are you rooting for either the or no, you're rooting actually, and then we do that. Oh, okay, and then let's do Bucks beat the Saints, and then let's say Saints beat the Falcons. Oh shoot, I mean, yeah, whoever wins that Saints Falcons game could still get the or if the Saints, I guess the Falcons can't, but the Falcons could or the Saints could still get the 7th seed too, crazy enough. AFC's NFC are is crazy right now. Um Texans, let's say Texans. We'll play with all this when we get into the week 18, but point being, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It seems like there is a very real scenario though where we get Rams Lions. Um if the Rams beat the Niners, which the Niners are resting basically everyone since they're locked into the 1 seed, we will for sure be getting Rams Lions in the first round. So that'd be fun.
Maybe.
Um as for the Giants, great job not screwing up. Giants still have a shot at Caleb. They don't have a shot at the first pick, but they could have a shot at the second pick, which could easily turn into a trade up to the first pick. So there you go. Still in it. Still in it. Especially the way Joseph Fields is playing. Who knows? The Bears might not be so keen on taking a quarterback. They might want to see if they can get the biggest haul in draft history for that first pick. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
It'll be interesting to see what the Bears could do a lot with that first pick, actually, funny enough. So,
It could,
um,
and it worries me.
yeah,
Hopefully they don't slow down with it.
they could build a Herschel Walker type dynasty with that trade they get for Caleb Williams.
Imagine the Bears getting a dynasty in the Virginia McCaskey era. Oh man.
That's not gonna happen. They're gonna draft mostly busts with those probably. Um, yeah. You actually Bears haven't drafted horribly in recent years. So Darnell Wright
They
last
draft
year.
defense well. They suck at
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah, that's true. They drafted Darnell Wright this past year. Year before they didn't have a pick because of the Fields trade. Drafted Justin Fields, obviously. Year before that, 2020. Who the Bears drafted 2020? Or did they have a pick? That
No.
wasn't Khalil Mack wasn't that trade had already wrapped up at that point, I think. Point being, anyways, I'm gonna no, actually I don't think it wrapped up at that point. I think the 2020 draft had still had Khalil Mack trades involved. Point being, um Yeah, Bears, I guess, haven't had a lot of opportunities to be drafting in recent years. So there you go. Um, anyways, the main event here, the Bird Bowl,
Cardsy, what you saying,
Cardinals.
man?
Jonathan Gannon beat his old boss with explosives.
Dude, let's fucking go. Let's go, Arizona.
Explosive shots, explosives. I
Dude,
love
Philly's kind
Jonathan
of
Gannon,
whack lately, though. I
dude.
heard they're like 1-4 in their last 5 games,
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And their one win was a scraping by New York at home. Yeah,
which is
here you go. Here,
which is crazy to me, man. Because if we would have beaten the Cowboys last week, we would have the tiebreaker over Dallas, and then we would just need Philly to lose to the Giants, which could
hmm
very well happen while we beat the Vikings. That's an easy road to the 2 seed.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
no,
And you know the 7 seed in the NFC is going to be a joke team too. So,
I'm saying,
um,
man, like the Vikings are still in it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, look
come
at
on.
this. Yeah, they've blowout lost to the Niners, blowout lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Seahawks. And this Giants game was closer than this looked. They could have lost this at the end.
Yeah.
Um, and losing at home to the Cardinals. That's atrocious. That's awful.
And it's
That's
all
awful.
thanks to Matt Patricia.
Thanks, Matt Patricia. That's right. That's right. Um, man, it's crazy to think they were 11-1 at one point. No, they were 10-1 at one point, and now they're 11-5.
Sucks to
What a
suck.
meltdown. What a meltdown for Sirianni.
I still think
Uh,
Sirianni's a good coach, though. I think his coordinators are kind of whack this year.
oh yeah, they're terrible. They're
Like,
terrible.
bro, Patricia,
It's tough when both your coordinators leave for head coaching jobs.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But yeah, it was Shane Steichen, right? Was their offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Who was their defensive coordinator?
Gannon, Cardinals.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
dude.
So, yeah, it's tough. Um,
Oh
but
man,
for the Cardinals, yeah, you played yourself. They no longer control their destiny for the number two pick. In fact, I think they're at 4 right now, which just kind of sucks, but shoot, man, that's the type of win that can really like energize like a team going into the off season. So
I'll tell you what,
honestly,
man. If I was the Cardinals, I wouldn't mind keeping Kyler around.
no, and they already said they're going to next season. They're not going to draft a
Oh,
quarterback. They could draft Marvin Harrison with that first pick and
ooh,
give Kyler a real weapon
that's
out there.
nasty.
That would be nasty. Cardinals might be on the fast track to being fun again. You know what's funny actually about Arizona too? Yes, they only have 4 wins. Those 4 wins are Dallas Cowboys,
Hmm.
Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, and shit, who's the fourth one? I feel like I'm embarrassed. I thought I was gonna make a great point. The Falcons. Okay, fuck the Falcons. But those other 3 were really cool.
That's what I'm saying. They were beating up all the classic teams, and then Atlanta.
Not Atlanta, yeah. Um, but that was Kyler's first game back too. So, um, basically, they they're competing. They're not easy out. I honestly might not. I would probably pick the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks on Sunday, to be honest, down here in
Yeah,
Glendale. But we'll
you're
get to
gonna
that
you're
when we get
gonna
to
you're gonna
picks.
doubt the Seahawks, man.
Yes, I am
You're gonna make the
because
same
I
mistake Rob made.
yes I am.
I mean, we'll get there when we get there,
We'll
but
get there.
hey,
We'll get there.
I don't know, man.
Um,
Geno Smith's pretty elite.
they should put Drew Lock back in.
Anyway, what's the next?
Saints,
Saints Bucks.
Bucks. What happened to the Bucks here, man? They were on a heater the past couple weeks, and then they just got clobbered at home by a bad New Orleans team. What
I wouldn't say
happened?
the Saints are bad. I would
Okay,
just
fine, a
say,
mediocre.
yeah, like underperforming more like.
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure on paper, most people thought New Orleans was going to win this division.
I think who did I? I think I picked like the no, I picked
It was either
The
Saints
funny
or
thing is,
Falcons.
I can't remember who I picked. I could talk myself into saying I picked any of the 4 teams because I
Bro,
don't remember.
I'm just because if I remember right, like over summer discourse, it was either Saints or Falcons that people would pick.
hmm
Panthers were
That's
kind of a
true.
dark
Yeah.
horse pick because of Bryce Young.
hmm
Everyone thought the Bucks were going to win 3 games.
That's right. I remember now.
Yeah, and we were pretty wrong about the Bucks. I was wrong about the Panthers because I had the Panthers winning this division. Yeah, that went nowhere.
That didn't
I
age
did
well.
predict their first win of the year though against the Texans.
That is true. That is true.
But
And they
besides
did beat the
that,
they did beat the Falcons. Hey, you know what? The Falcon or the Panthers have more division wins than the Bengals do this year.
really, bro?
Yeah, the Bengals are 0 and 5 in the AFC North. We
Damn.
are 8 and 3 against all other teams and 0 and 5 in the AFC North.
You guys are playing the Browns again, right? Last week of the year. Yeah, that's like your bogey team. Oh
That's our
boy.
bogey team. Yep.
Good
0
luck,
and
man.
6. The year we went 2 and 14 and got Joe Burrow, we went 1 and 5 in the division. So if we go 0 and 6 this year, oh God, man. That
That's
it's
sad.
bad juju. That's bad juju. The Browns are resting everyone though, so and they might be trying to lose so that the Bengals get a worse draft pick. Who knows? But um yeah, I'm expecting the Bengals to lose. But again, we'll get to that.
I guess
But
as
yeah.
far as like Saints Bucks, so I do have some thoughts about the Bucks because you
Hmm.
mentioned like they were like on a heater for a little bit, but they've been pretty inconsistent throughout the whole year.
Right.
Like they started the year on a heater, they went from 3-1 to 4-7, and then went back up to 8-7.
Hmm.
Now they're 8-8. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
Baker giveth, Baker taketh. The
Yeah. They
defense
need
is
to get
pretty good.
just need to get back on the right mojo against Carolina. And most teams do. Look at what the Panthers did for the Jags, but
Yeah,
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Um, yeah. Any more thoughts on Saints Bucks?
I got nothing. To be honest, man, I don't have too much to say about Niners commies either. Besides,
Nah.
Niners good,
Congrats.
commies bad.
Yeah, congrats to the Niners for getting the first overall pick. Congrats to the Commies for losing their seventh straight game and going from 4 and 5 to in the driver's seat for the number 2 overall pick. Um, Drake May is going to look good in burgundy and gold. I'll just say that. Or Caleb Williams, if you guys want to make a trade. Bring him back to
So,
DC.
or they just, I don't even know. I
Or
don't
they
even know
just
what they do,
or they
man.
just do something dumb because it's
Yeah.
the Commies. They do have new ownership though, so that probably helps.
Speaking of ownership, I feel like the worst owner in the
Oh
league
boy.
went from Dan Snyder to Dave
Dave
Tepper, man.
Tepper. Oh yeah. Oh, what a clown show, man. What a
You hear that
clown
he
show.
he he threw a cup of beer
Yep,
at
he had the
man.
video. Yeah, he like just tossed it onto a Jags fan sitting in front of him. It's
What a
not a good look.
what a
Not a good
joke.
look. Yeah, he's
And
an
you got to watch
ass.
his team get shut out. Beautiful.
Mm. Yep. Like and a game too that there were folks saying they were gonna win this game because the Jags were playing so poorly. Lost what, 4 in a row? Or
Something like
3 in a row,
that.
4 in a row. And
Wait. Yeah, 4 in a row.
yeah, it was 4 in a row. The
And Trevor Lawrence
Panther
out.
And Panthers had been playing pretty well. They actually, I mean, they won against the or yeah, beat the Falcons and then almost beat the Packers going into Jackson, and then they got shut out 26 nothing against CJ Beathard.
Yeah.
Not a great look. Yeah, the Panthers are a joke. Congratulations to them for getting the first overall. Oh wait, they didn't because they traded it away. Um,
To Chicago of all teams, man.
yeah.
When
Imagine
teams make the
trading
Bears look competent, that's how you know the other team is really, really incompetent.
Imagine trading and obviously you can't do this in a vacuum because there's no way the Panthers could have foreseen they would be the worst team in football this year. But you traded the the first overall pick. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna find the full terms of this trade here. So we can really make this official here.
And I believe this trade also included DJ Moore.
It did include DJ Moore, that is correct. Um
Bryce Young could have had a
2024.
really good receiver to throw to.
Could have had a very good receiver to throw to. Let's see. Okay, so Carolina traded the first overall pick in 2024, the ninth and 61st overall picks in 2023, a 2025 second round pick, and DJ Moore to the Bears for Bryce Young. And I like Bryce Young. I do not think Bryce Young is a bust yet. I will say it's too early to call him a bust.
I think if he was on most other teams, he would look better than he does right now.
They traded 4 picks two of which were top 10 first rounders, one of which was the first overall pick in a year with a generational quarterback, and a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL for Bryce Young. Just in a vacuum, that trade is just so bad. When
Yeah,
you look at
well,
what all the pieces turned into, okay, yeah, actually, we do know what those pieces turned into. You traded, let's say Caleb Williams gets taken with the first overall pick. You traded Bryce Young for DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, 2023 person. Who did the Bears draft in that with that second round pick? Hold on. Processing, processing. Brenton Strange. Okay. Well, Brenton Strange isn't much. Okay. Um, Brenton Strange, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and a TBD player from 2025 for Bryce Young. I mean, Caleb Williams for Bryce Young on its own, you're probably not making that trade if you can see the future. Throw DJ Moore in there, and it's all kinds of ugly. Sorry, don't want to keep bashing Carolina, but that's gonna unless Bryce Young seriously turns it around, that's gonna go down as an all-time bad trade, probably.
but the thing is, man, like I don't even blame Bryce Young that much. I just kind
Oh
of
no, I don't either.
if
It's
he was on
just
any other team, he'd probably look better. It's just he's stuck behind a crap old line, has no weapons, no coaching, terrible. Everything about his team is terrible.
yeah,
Like no rookie is gonna play well.
exactly. Exactly. Poor guy. And you know he's getting blamed for it. He's probably sees like, oh, the Panthers should have drafted Stroud. Honestly, if you put Bryce on the Texans and Stroud on the Panthers, I don't think Stroud's doing much better than
Thank
Bryce
you.
is. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly,
it's
man.
it's a horrible situation, Carolina. Let's
Speaking
see
of
what they do.
horrible, tell you what,
Uh,
man. Speaking of horrible situation, how about Mike McDaniel's team getting absolutely clowned in Baltimore, man?
Absolutely throttled. Absolutely
Yo,
throttle schmucked.
throttle schmuck.
It's a new word too. I'm making all these new words. Yeah, they got absolutely destroyed. Congrats to the Ravens. You guys got the one seed. Lamar's gonna be the MVP. Yay. Have fun losing the
I
second
think I
round
was
pick.
calling it. I think I called it like a couple weeks ago, but I said Ravens Niners was going to be the Super Bowl, and Niners are going to win.
I can see that.
That's
It's
still my call.
most likely outcome right now. Um,
Because the thing is, like, they're the only two teams that look like they're like at a certain level of competency. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
every other team just has compared to those two, every other team is just so significantly flawed.
hmm I agree.
It's been
I
the
think
year of Gruden and
In the
team development.
NFC, I feel like the in the AFC though, and it's funny to say this because the Ravens have a better record than the Niners do and beat them head to head. But I feel like if I'm the Ravens, I'm terrified of playing the Bills. Like a team like the Bills that has playoff experience, can play physical, isn't afraid to be physical. You have a quarterback that can throw on that secondary, can escape pressure. I feel like if I'm the Ravens, I am praying to God the Bills don't make the playoffs because I think the Bills would beat the Ravens.
You know what was kind of funny though is everyone was kind of shitting on the Bills for a little. Like the Bills have received the most overreactions I think out of any team this year.
Oh,
They've gone from
100%.
they're a Super Bowl contender, they're garbage. Beat the Cowboys in one game. Oh yeah, they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Like we gotta make up our minds, man, about this Buffalo team. They're not
We
making it
got me.
easy for us, but we
They
gotta
are
make up our
not.
minds.
They're not. Um, we'll see. If they're in the playoff, if they get the two seed, man, look out Baltimore. Look out Baltimore.
For Miami, dude. I still love Mike Daniel, but bruh, they're a paper tiger.
Yeah.
They're a paper.
It's so tough too, because it's like they do. I mean, when they can get the ball to those weapons, and Waddle missed this game to be fair, but like Tyreek Hill is just such a monster. I mean, even A-Chain still had a good game here, but it's like they're not going to be able to hang with like a team like Baltimore just because of the physicality. And Tua's gonna have make some mistakes. Did in this game.
Like looking at
More,
the playoff picture, I don't think Miami could beat Baltimore. I don't think they could beat Cleveland, to be honest with you. I
I
think
don't
if they
think
have
they could.
time
I
to get
don't think they'd
around.
beat Kansas City. They already lost to Kansas City. So.
feel
Yeah,
like
he'd
if
go.
it, I don't. Yeah, I think Kansas City would probably beat him too, but I feel like that game would probably be maybe a
That
little
game would be
closer.
close. That game would be close. They
I
play
guess they
Buffalo
get
this
tagged
weekend.
or whoever comes out of the AFC South.
They lost by like 30 to Buffalo in September,
Oh yeah,
and
I
they
remember
play
that
again this
game.
weekend. Let's see how that goes. Um, Anyone else here? Miami could probably beat any of these three teams. Miami would probably beat 7, 8, and 9 there.
Yeah, I would say
And
so.
4. And they'd beat Jacksonville too.
Yeah,
Um,
but you know what? They're
Tennessee.
fun to watch. It's whatever. If I was
Yeah.
a Dolphins fan, I'd be okay with the year. Might be Daniel's cool. I watched a little bit of their Hard Knocks in season. They seem like they got
Hmm.
pretty good camaraderie. Get
Yeah.
to watch Tyreek have a nearly historic season.
Yeah.
Tua's a franchise quarterback, man.
Yeah.
I think
He's earned it.
he's played well this year. I think he's their
He's
franchise
earned a
guy.
big contract. He's earned a big contract.
Yeah,
So Tennessee, Houston. Houston absolutely gobsmackled
yeah.
the Titans.
Cool.
Not much to talk about with this one. I didn't even watch a lick of it. That Titans suck. Texans
Yeah.
are good. Will they be good enough? We'll see, but weren't good enough. Um,
Like Titans they're an interesting team, honestly. I know they're out of the playoffs, but it's gonna be interesting to see how Will Levis looks next year. Gonna be
mhm,
interesting to see what Vrabel does with the coordinators because I kind of stumbled upon a Titans thread earlier this morning, and they were kind of talking about how like apparently the discourse right now is that Vrabel's a great head coach, but their coordinators suck and their O line coach is worse. So I guess the biggest thing for them is they got to shore up their O line. They can do that, protect Will Levis, get him more opportunities to throw to D Hop and some of
mhm.
those other weapons they have. Yeah, they could probably be something again next year. Apparently they've been drafting pretty well too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
stuff to look at.
yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine long term. I think this is kind of just a weird transition year. Um, Pittsburgh went in Seattle and took their lunch money. Seahawks defense played like absolute dog shit in this game. They
They
were
did, man.
horrible. They were horrible.
They really did look like sea chickens out there, man.
Yeah. Honestly, Pete Carroll just needs to go. I know I'm not a Seahawks fan, so I can say this all I want. I will say, but I do obviously have discourse with Seahawks fans. Pete Carroll needs to go. It's time. It's time. Hall of Fame coach, put him in the Ring of Honor, build him a statue. He won you your only Super Bowl, but it's time. It's kind of like Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Like at a certain point, it's like we need a change of identity before it starts to get really ugly. We need to bring someone in who can re-energize this team, this organization. They've got talent. No one's questioning they've got talent, but it's just like it's just not coming together right now. They need to make a change. They do desperately need to make a change. Otherwise, it's just going to be more years of somewhere between 7 and 9, or I guess 7 and 10, and 10 and 7, and losing in the first round. And like I don't feel like that's what the expectation in Seattle should be after how successful the 2010s were.
Yeah, I mean, what's kind of a low key point too is their ownership in the short term is a little muddied
True.
as well. So if they were to make a change from Pete Carroll, that begs the question of how impactful that change is going to be for better or worse.
Because will the new owner, when they eventually do step in, just want to choose their own person anyways?
That's the thing, yeah. So they're a little bit of limbo right now with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
But you know
We'll
what,
see
man?
on Monday.
What's kind of funny too is honestly, I know we're gonna talk about Denver in the next game, but bro, some of these Seahawks fans be shitting on Russ so hard. And it's like, I know you guys have the Legion of Boom, but he led your team to two Super Bowls. He won you one of those Super Bowls. He was an efficient quarterback in his time there. And yeah,
It was
things
an MVP. I mean, he never got an MVP vote, but he was an MVP caliber quarterback for the back half of the
was.
2010s.
And to see all these Seahawks fans just shit on him, some of them just act. I'm gonna get so much shit from Seattle fans watching this, but some of y'all act so ungrateful about Russell Wilson and what he did for you guys. Like y'all's fans are just whatever, man. Fuck the Seahawks. That's all I gotta say on that front as well.
And
Fuck
I
that dude.
agree, but for the only reason being, actually for multiple reasons. A, kept the Steelers in playoff contention, which boo. B, the Steelers lost and the Bengals, or the Steelers win, the Bengals lost, eliminated the Bengals from the playoffs.
Pittsburgh is
So
over 500 again, baby. Let's give a round of applause for Mike Tomlin preserving that streak. Pretty good stuff, man. I would imagine if your team won at least 9 games every single year for the last 20 years. Pretty crazy
couldn't
stuff,
be me.
honestly.
Couldn't be me.
And Steelers
Um,
fans just sit there and they want to be like, nah, man, it's not good enough. The standard's the standard or whatever. Nah, man, we should be winning Super Bowls. Can't wait till Pittsburgh
Not
starts
when Kenny
winning.
Pickett's your quarterback. Which congratulations, y'all have won so many games. You've locked him in as a starter again next year.
Oh, I will say though, I kind of do empathize with the Steelers fans. Like, I get why they're complaining about the 9-win seasons. It's like, yeah, your team's on a treadmill. You know what's kind of funny though? Pittsburgh sports in general has been on this treadmill for the last decade. Like all their teams have just been exactly the same. Like the Steelers of 10 years, okay, maybe not Steelers of 10 years ago, but like say the Steelers of maybe 4 to 5 years ago, the Penguins of the last few years, the Pirates of the last few years, just have been the same exact team. I gotta empathize, man. It probably gets pretty boring just like seeing the lack of progression, the hope not really materializing. So you know what? Fair enough. I see what they're complaining about. I can't get too in their grill.
Yeah. Talk Chargers, Broncos here. The Chargers are abysmal. I know I made it my thing on this pod to just talk crap about the Chargers for most of the year. And then Justin
Justified.
Herbert got hurt, and then all of a sudden it almost became sad to do it. Screw it, man. This is the last regular season pod. Chargers. Go to the corner and rethink your organization. You have Justin Herbert and nothing else.
True.
You are Justin Herbert. You will never win a game that Justin Herbert does not start for you. I am speaking that into existence. Justin Herbert better be starting 17 games for the rest of his career because
Yeah.
you will never win a game that he does not start for you. Unless you get a better backup than Easton Stick, in which case, yeah, maybe. But Chargers are horrible. I just want to make that very clear up front. What an abysmal organization. And they should be ashamed. They should be ashamed. They are not an NFL team. There are 31 teams in the NFL, in fact. And the Carolina Panthers are one of them, but the LA Chargers are not. Um, as for the Broncos, you won, but got eliminated from the playoffs. So that sucks for you.
Whoop whoop.
Jarrett
Man.
Stidham 1-0.
Jared Stidham want to know, dude. I was hearing some discourse too. Like some people are saying that Sean Payton just flat out doesn't like Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to agree with that. I know, like
I think that one's true.
I know he got benched because of the whole contract situation, but I also think Sean Payton just really doesn't like Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Those two have had friction the entire year, and honestly, it's probably best going into next season that only one of them sticks around, and it looks like that's going to be Sean Payton.
What's crazy is they traded first round picks in back to back years for those guys. They traded, well,
Uh,
actually, no, what happened is they traded two first round picks for Russ, got one of those first round picks back for Bradley Chubb, and then traded that for Sean Payton. Like, okay.
Going all over the place. Yeah, I know. We're talking about how bad the Bryce Young trade was. That Rush trade for Denver,
Oh, yeah.
just almost piss poor, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially considering they're only going to get 2 seasons out of him.
Yeah, right.
That's wild. That's wild. You're trading a dynasty or not dynasty because I mean it ended up turning into like Charles Cross and Devin Witherspoon, which good players, but not dynasty by any means.
Hmm.
But it's a lot to give up for a quarterback who plays 2 years for you and never gets you above 500.
In one of those years, he's stuck with Nathaniel Hackett.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, that's nothing else to say, man. Denver's just a once proud franchise, just deteriorating.
They haven't made the playoffs since 2015. That's just
How
wild.
does Detroit have a shorter streak than that, man? Like
There's
even
only one team
the
that doesn't have a shorter streak than that, and that's the Jets in
Jets.
2010.
Rex Ryan,
Rex Ryan, baby. And
franchise.
and you know what's funny actually? The last time the Jets went, they went to the AFC title game. Last
That's
time the
true.
Broncos went, they went to the Super Bowl. So these weren't one and done. These were good established programs by the time they were done, and then they just haven't even been back since.
Those Jets teams in particular went to two straight AFC title games. I hear that who was the receiver? I hear that Santonio Holmes guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Mark
Fucking
Sanchez. Yeah, do you believe in the Sanchez?
100%. Dude, he took him to two AFC title games. And Darrell Reeves is crazy at corner, man.
Darrell Revis is crazy.
Jets are going to be good for years to come. Rex Ryan is a
Mm,
genius.
Love those throwback moments there. Um,
Oh, man. The
I
Jets.
guess it's time to talk about the game.
Go for it, man.
Two seasons in a row, the Bengals season has ended in Kansas City. Although I will say, our season ended in Baltimore. That Jake Browning run was fun. I was on here saying he was going to lose his Super Bowl. Obviously, he never was. As soon as Burrow went down, the season was effectively over. I can say that now. It was. Credit to Jake Browning. He wasn't bad in this game. He wasn't the problem. They've got serious issues on their defense that they need to iron out. Um, they need a receiver to step up opposite Chase too. I would not, I know it sounds fucking insane, but I would not be opposed to if they lose Boyd or Higgins or both of them. They I would not be opposed to drafting a guy like Rome Odunze in the first round to pair with Chase. That would be a nasty combo. But they also need to fix the O line. They gave up like 5 sacks on the last 5 plays or something like that. It was absolutely horrible. Need to fix the right tackle situation. Need to fix the left guard situation. They've got too much money invested in left tackle, center, and right guard to make serious changes there. They are losing a lot. They're losing DJ Reader in the offseason, which hurts. Shido Awuzie, he's a free agent. They don't need to bring him back. He's hasn't been the same since he tore his ACL. Plus, you've already got DJ Turner and Cam Taylor Britt waiting in the wings. I do believe in some of the young secondary guys. So the fact that the secondary is as bad as it is right now, I feel like is just because you've got a secondary that's almost entirely rookies and second year players. Hopefully those guys take their lumps and can turn into guys down the line. There's just some, like communication is just off on the defense, and I think that's what happens when you lose Jesse Bates and Von Bell. It's just they haven't been able to get that communication back and the flow back, I guess. There's guys getting caught out of position all the time. It's just this isn't the Bengals defense that took us to the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. This is like the same, almost all the same guys outside of Bates and Bell, but just the community, maybe again, it's just like the communication's just so far away from what it once was. And that's scary. Offense will be fine once Burrow's back. Honestly, the offense wasn't really the problem in this game. um yeah, their season was over once Burrow ended, or once Burrow's ended. um just need to get him back. They'll be back next year. I have all the faith in the world they can still be a Super Bowl level team next year, but this year is just too many injuries to the wrong guys too. Your all pro quarterback goes down. It's always going to be hard to recover from that. So on the Chiefs side of things though, congratulations. You beat Jake Browning. Cool. Good job. Good job. Here's your gold star. You're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. I did not come away from this game feeling any more confident about the Chiefs' chances to go far than I was thinking going in. Um, and that sounds like sour grapes. I'd rather the Chiefs win it all than the Ravens because the Ravens are the team that hurt Burrow. I'll never forgive them for that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs are all that good still, but the Bengals are just kind of lifeless at the moment, which happens when your franchise goes down. So that's what I have to say to that. I know that was pretty depressing, but only one more game left, and then I can never think about the 2023 season again. And I am looking forward to that. Oh, wait, one more thing, though. One more thing. If the Bengals win against the Browns, the 2023 AFC North will be the first division since the 1935 NFC Central where every team finishes above 500. So that'd be kind of
Kind of
sick.
nuts though.
That's kind of sick. But yeah, that's it.
Good stuff, man. I got nothing else to add. That was very well put.
Packers, Vikings, Packers. I need to think of one more. The Packers Blugel smocked them. They Blugel smocked them. There are a lot of blowouts this week. I got to come up with some fun words
Yeah,
there.
man.
Jeez, yeah. Um, I know all of Detroit is preparing. I know preparing for the Rams Lions game, but I would honestly be preparing for a Packers Lions game and just be thinking that whole week of that Breaking Bad meme where Jesse Pinkman's saying, "He can't keep getting away with this."
They really can, dude. This is so stupid. Dude, the Packers are like a cockroach. They don't go away.
They'll never go away. The Packers are literally the NFC Steelers.
Yeah,
That's it. That's what they are.
with less Super Bowls
With less Super
and
Bowls, but
actual losing
two less
seasons
Super Bowls.
in the last
And they
20
do have
years.
some losing seasons mixed in there. That's true. Not a lot, but they do have a couple.
And of course, they're the most noble team in football
They are the most
because
noble team.
they're fan owned and they give out stocks. So fans can feel like they have real pride and ownership in their fucking small town cow shit team, you know? Cowtown. It's Cowtown, man. Green Bay is Cowtown.
Some fans say, "Hey, nothing wrong with Cowtowns." Shout out Sacramento Kings.
But
But
Sacramento's the capital of California, and it's a
that is
decently
true.
sized city. Green Bay's like a
That is
fucking
true.
village in comparison. The
That no,
only thing Green
that
Bay
is
has
true.
going for it is Lambeau Field, cow shit, and the Packers and cheese and whatever the fuck have you, man.
Hmm.
So tired of these assholes, dude. Just tell the Packers to go away. Stop drafting good quarterbacks. I anointed this man fucking Rex Grossman, bro. Right after that, he decides to pop off the last half of the season. Now he's got better stats than Aaron Rodgers did his rookie season. Not to say he is going to be Aaron Rodgers, but seeing that, I'm just like, how do they do this every single time, man? Like, I can't imagine how, because at least the Lions and Vikings will beat Green Bay every now and again. I can't imagine how Bears fans feel
Hmm.
for the last like 10 plus years. You just see the Packers get all this good draft luck. They make the playoffs every year and they just smoke your team in what's supposed to be the most classic rivalry in the NFL.
Yeah.
God, man, Packers, they just go away. The only good from this game was that Vikings fans got to cry. They
Hmm.
just keep crying about the state of their team and how Detroit's a bunch of frauds, and a bunch of other crap like that.
Hmm.
Whatever, man. The Vikings they're a nothing team. They've been a nothing team all year and they will continue to be. Like the Vikings are like the Cowboys in the sense that you know exactly what you're going to get from them every season. So why even be a fan of those teams? You know exactly what you're going to get every year. They're so predictable. Like with the Cowboys, every year they're competitive, but they will never make a Super Bowl, right? With the
Hmm.
Vikings, it's either 7 wins or 10 wins or somewhere in between there. Or like they have the quality of that kind of team every year. They're never worse, they're never better.
Hmm.
Maybe they have a few odd seasons in there, but like the Cowboys, they'll never win a Super Bowl, man. There's no hope for that team. Why are you even a fan of them? Two worthless franchises anyway, ran over. Just worthless, man. Like if the
Okay.
Packers are cockroaches, the Vikings are like slugs. Just worthless.
Slugs. Dang. All right. I've got a scenario for you. I read the script. I'm afraid to say that I read the script for the NFL playoffs. The Packers
Okay.
do get the sixth seed and play the
Okay.
Lions in Detroit.
Okay.
The Lions will actually be up. The Lions will be up late into the fourth quarter. They're going to lead for most of the game actually. Packers mount a very, very slight comeback, make it 23-21, but they've got the ball at like their own 39-yard line. Like it's with seconds left. Like it ain't gonna happen. Like they're not really gonna be able to pull this comeback off. Um, this is in the wild card round, by the way. The Lions fans are getting ready to celebrate their first playoff. Wait, please don't log off when I finish this. Lions are getting ready to
I know
get
it's
their
coming, man. You
first
can
playoff
finish.
win. It's since 1992 or 93, and then this happens.
Fuck you, man. Piss off, man. Why do you have to show
I
me this shit?
I
No.
actually
I hate that fucking team so much, man. I hate them. Literally, bro, I hate the Packers so much. Everyone fucking hates this team, dude. Everyone hates them. Every NFC North fan hates the
Oh
Packers.
yeah,
Cowboys fans hate the Packers. There's probably some AFC team, like the Steelers or whatever, that fan base probably hates the Packers too.
they beat them in the Super Bowl.
No one likes Green Bay, man, except Green
Hmm.
Bay fans. They are
Probably the
the
Chiefs
only
too.
thing they have going for them in that shitty ass town is their goddamn football team.
And Justin Fields would agree with you on that. Did you see what he said?
Yeah,
So
he
he
would.
said the only
Good.
thing to do in Green Bay is to watch the Packers.
Good. Good. He should say that. Good boy, Justin Fields. And the fact that I'm saying that about an Ohio State boy speaks volumes, man.
Speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. Well, there we go. That's it for NFL Week 17. Before we get into look at the standings a little bit, see who's still in it, maybe play with some scenarios a little bit. Any closing thoughts on the penultimate episode or the penultimate week?
I think of Green Bay as cockroaches. I think of Minnesota as slugs. And I think of Chicago as crying into a bucket of tears.
That's accurate. That is accurate.
And I think of Detroit as the greatest team to ever live in the National Football League with the
That's
greatest
America's
ownership
team right there.
and the greatest coach and the greatest GM
Mhm.
and the greatest wide receiver, Amon-Ra St.
And
Brown and Calvin
and the
Johnson.
greatest quarterback in Jared Goff.
Eh,
Eh,
debatable.
on Jared Goff. Okay, fair enough. Let's start with the NFC because it's a little bit, I guess, easier to manage. Niners are locked in. Whoever bit wins between the Cow, I guess if they both lose and the Lions win, then we're talking about Lions in the 2 seed. Otherwise, it's basically going to be one of the Cowboys or Eagles in that 2 seed. Um, yeah, let's see. 3 seeds gonna be the Lions, Cowboys, or Eagles again. Um, Buccaneers, Buccaneers Saints. So the Falcons cannot get the 7 seed, but they can get the 4 seed. Funny enough. Good job, NFL seeding. Um, Falcons, their path to winning the NFC South. Again, kind of a long shot. They'd need to beat the Saints and then have the Panthers beat the Bucks. Not impossible though. Saints path's a lot easier. They can have again if the Bucks win, they're in. If the Bucks lose, winner of Saints Falcons basically goes. Um, Saints can still make it as a 7 seed, with a little bit of help from other teams ahead of them losing. Rams are in, Eagles are in, again, Cowboys. So really it's Packers, Seahawks, Saints competing for the 7 seed. And Vikings, I guess technically. What's the Vikings path in? They have to beat the Lions. They would probably need
I just need
this.
everything to
Let's
go their way.
they need, let's see, Seahawks, Packers. What happens if the Saints win? Or Seahawks, Bears.
They would need the Cardinals to win too, right?
Or yeah, Cardinals. Oh shoot, the Bucks could still even let's say the Bucks win here. Bucks get the okay. But then let's see if the Falcons win.
Oh,
That's
well.
yeah, the Vikings really need everything to go their way to get in as that 7 seed. That's not gonna happen because
Say, who the hell wants to watch the Cowboys defense beat up on Nick Mullins?
so the Vikings won't be in it, although they are not eliminated. Um, so that's the NFC. Let's talk AFC here now. I think if the Jaguars win, let's say Jaguars, Colts, Texans. Okay, yeah. If the Jaguars win, they're in. If the Jaguars lose, winner of Colts, Texans gets the South, and the Jaguars are eliminated from the playoffs entirely. I believe. Maybe not entirely. Let's say the Steelers lose. Yeah, if the
There you go.
Steelers lose, then they got path in. We're talking here though. We're talking if the say the Jaguars win because they probably will. We're talking a path where it's the Texans, Colts, and Steelers all competing for that 7 seed. And technically the Bills aren't even locked in for the 6 seed. The Bills could drop all the way out if they lose to the Dolphins. Yeah. So Um, oh, there's a scenario right there though, but that's fine. Again, the Titans aren't, or the Jags aren't going to lose. So a lot of crazy stuff can happen there. I mean, okay, so say the Steelers and Jaguars win. The Bills are in a situation where they win, they get the 2 seed. They lose, they're out of the playoffs. Crazy shit. Um, Anything else up in the air here? I think Chiefs are locked in.
They're locked into three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're locked into 3. Browns locked into 5, Ravens locked into 1. Dolphins are in, but not locked into a seed yet. Yeah, so there you go. It's a little bit of a little Steve Kornacki moment. We're just going over the scenarios there.
Yeah.
Shout out to all you eliminated teams. We'll see you in draft season. We'll probably start talking draft on these pods a little bit more next week once the order is finalized. But um, there you go. So now on to the picks. It's about time. We're ready. We're rolling. We're live. I have a 3-game lead right now. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to lose this. So let's just hop right into it. You are picking again on behalf of one Mr. Robert Jokinen. We'll call it the Daniel Robb team, the Drob team, the Drob team, the kind
Good
of like the
job.
dream team, the Drop team. Um, so here we go. First game on Saturdays, the Steelers going to Baltimore to keep their playoff hopes alive. Steelers starting Mason Rudolph, who has been playing really well the past couple weeks, while the Ravens are starting absolutely no one. They're resting almost all their starters, including Lamar Jackson for the season finale. Steelers favored by 4 points in this game. I will be taking the Ravens to cover because 4 points is a lot for the Steelers team against a really good Ravens team. But, well, coach Ravens team too. But I think the Steelers win straight up, but I think the Ravens cover the 4.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of with you in the sense that Ravens are going to cover. I do think Ravens are still going to win because it seems like Pittsburgh's MO because they already got their 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care anymore.
That's fair. That's
That's the
fair.
standard, man.
That's the standard. Standard's the 9 wins. Well, there you go. There we go. Here we go, Steelers. Texans going to Indy. Texans favored by 1.5 points. Um, Colts beat them earlier. I believe Colts beat them earlier in the season. I know that they played in like week 2. They played all the way back in week 2. Yeah, 31-20, Colts won. This time in Indy though. So actually more of a home field advantage. This is again a game that could very easily determine who gets the 7 seed, or even again, depending on the Jags game, who gets the 4 seed. So you win this game, and if the Steelers lose theirs, which obviously when this game is getting played, you know if the Steelers lost or not, you have a good feel for if you're going to the playoffs or not. So, with that said, give me the Texans. I think Texans win this game. Yeah, 1.5 points. I mean, it's basically a pick. I'm at 1.5, so I think Texans win.
Yep, give me Houston as well with a
There we
dub.
go. Okay. Bengals are apparently favored by 7 points. I know the
Got some
Browns are
players.
starting literally no one. Like, don't get me wrong. I know they're starting no one. Um, Zach Taylor does not know how to coach against Kevin Stefanski though. And this Bengals team just doesn't have any fucking heart right now. They're just lifeless. I don't care who wins this game, but give me the Browns +7.
Yeah, give me the Browns too.
Here we go. Finally, you get to lead with one. Vikings going to Ford Field to take on the NFC North champion Detroit Lions.
Detroit.
Lions favored by 3.5 points.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna take the Lions in this game. I think they're gonna win. They're gonna make Nick Mullins look like a little bitch.
I like
That
that. I like
slug
that.
fan base can keep crying about everything. I don't know, man. I'm I'm
Vikings.
I'm just I'm tired of the NFC North, man. I just want the playoffs to start.
Yeah. Vikings are really bad. I agree. So give me the Lions. I'm back up on the clock here. Jaguars going to the Tennessee Titans. Titans are getting no, they got Will Levis back. Did they get Will Levis back last week? I don't even know. Point being, Will Levis will be starting for this one. I believe Trevor Lawrence is playing in this one. Let me do a quick Google search here. Trevor Lawrence news remains limited. Hmm. And this time he threw. That's Thursday's update. Okay, so it sounds like he's gonna try to play. Um, Jaguars playing with everything on the line here. Titans are a bad football team. Give me the Jags to cover here.
All right, man. I think we differ here.
All
I think
right, first
Titans,
difference. All right.
Titans win outright.
Wow, there we go.
I think the Jags choke, man. I think because we picked the Texans to win, right? So I think CJ Stroud's
Hmm.
going to lead his team to a division title.
Hmm. There we go. So I got Daniel Titans +5. First difference. The New York Football Jets going to the Patriots. For Patriots are 2-point favorites. Patriots are a bad football team, but lucky for them, so are the Jets. And the funny thing is, the Patriots kind of own the Jets. They really do. Even like for a long time, the Patriots only win this season was against the Jets. Um, Only a 2 points, so it's basically a pick 'em. Bill Belichick doesn't care about draft position. He's not going to be here next year, so he's going to try to win this game. Um, Give me the Patriots cover.
I'm going to say BB hates the Jets. I think New
Hmm.
England wins it.
Yep, agreed. There we go. Another one you'll lead with here. The Falcon, and this is a consequential one. Falcons going to Nolans, take on the Saints, where the Saints are 3-point favorites. What say you, my friend?
I hate the Falcons, man. Fuck that team. Anyway, uh, dude, I don't know. Atlanta just strikes me as like a just a weak-minded team, man. I think the Saints win. To be real with
Hmm.
you, I take they're at home. I take the Saints, man. I can't see like the reason I can see the Titans upsetting Jacksonville is because Jacksonville's got so much working against them. Like, yeah, they're favored. There's a lot of working against them. They have some choking tendencies this year. And the Titans are
Hmm.
still well coached and they're at home. So that's an upset I can see. But this game, man, come on. New Orleans is
Agreed.
Atlanta's not upsetting anybody. Saints win.
Falcons are terrible. Which funny to say, because they beat the Colts like 2 weeks ago. But Falcons just feel bad to me. So I agree. Give me the Saints to cover and win. Now we go to down to Tampa, where
This
the
game.
Buccaneers are 4.5-point favorites and are taking on the Carolina Panthers. Panthers. Sorry, I misread that.
Bucks.
Last game, yeah, she's just taking the Bucks straight up. Okay. I don't disagree. Yeah, we don't think we need to cover this one too long. Last game of Bryce Young's rookie season. Let's see what he can do with it before he has a new coach in a couple weeks.
We'll cry at
Um,
the end, probably.
just tears of joy. It's finally over. Um,
I'm so excited for this game, Bears Packers. I'm more excited about this game than the Lions game.
yeah.
The Lions game, like there's some implications there, but barely anything. But bro, imagine Chicago of all teams goes into Lambeau and eliminates them, bro. Oh my god,
Hmm.
dude, the
Well, what's your
Chicago
prediction?
Bears. Imagine them actually doing something like that, man.
Yeah. What's the prediction then? You're
Oh
leading.
my god. As much as I'm gonna hate myself, I'm taking Green Bay, man. Because the thing is, Dan Campbell's Lions, they have a vibe to them. It's a winner's mentality. Chicago is like this team gets owned by Green Bay every game. Like they're the Packers bitch, and it's gonna stay that way in Lambeau, man.
Yep.
Jordan Love's gonna throw like 600 fucking yards or whatever, and Packers fans are gonna come out of their holes and be like, "Yeah, we got the next franchise quarterback for the last 30 years."
Maybe they
All
do, man.
with their cheese breath.
Cheese breath. I do agree though. Yeah, the Packers kind of own the Bears. Like it's one thing for the Bears to beat a bad Falcons team at home in the cold when their Falcons are a dome team from the South. It's another thing to go up to Lambeau and beat the Packers when they're playing for playoff berth
Yeah.
and the Bears are playing for nothing. Um, so there you go. I'm leading another one here. we got a backup bowl here where the Las Vegas Raiders, led by Aiden O'Connell, are taking on former Raiders quarterback Jarrett Stidham. This game's in Vegas. Both these teams are eliminated from the playoffs. If you bet on this game, you have a problem. Um, but it is in Vegas, so who knows, right? I'm gonna take the Raiders in this one just because I don't really care too much, and I think the Raiders have been playing decently well the past couple weeks. They're at home. They actually own the Broncos the past couple of years. I don't think they've lost to the Broncos since like 2019 or something crazy like that, or 2020. Actually, hold on. Let me pull this up here. The last time the Broncos beat the Las Vegas, yeah, 2019. So I say that streak continues for no other reason than it can. So give me the Raiders -3.
Yeah, give me the Raiders as well.
Here we go, going, I should say going up to New York. Now we're in New York. Concrete jungle.
Where dreams are
Um,
made of,
There's
there's
nothing you
nothing you
can't
can't
do.
do except beat the Eagles.
Eagles, Eagles. Yeah, Eagles 5-point favorites in this game. These teams played on Christmas Day, so less than 2 weeks from when this game is being played.
Yeah, bro, I'm taking Philly in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't feel super confident in it, but I kind of have to agree just to keep my +3 streak going.
Wait, hold up, go up. I'm trying to think. 'Cause I think Philly's gonna win either way, but I want to see if
Mhm.
Giants cover or not.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about that. Uh, fuck. That's actually. What's my gut telling me?
Giants have covered 5 straight home games, all as underdogs.
Because the thing is, these games are pretty close. I think Eagles win, but I think the Giants cover.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
I think
I'm
Giants
changing
cover.
mine too. I think Giants cover as well. Um, Strats right there. Seahawks going to Arizona to take. I already said what I was going to make my pick on this one, but it is an NFC game, so you get to lead off. So Seahawks going to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites. Who you got?
Well, if you're gonna take the Cardinals, I think the Seahawks are gonna win this game, my guy. I think
Okay.
Seattle's gonna win it just by a little bit.
I think if the Seahawks win, I could see them winning like 17-16, in which case the Cardinals still cover. I'm taking Arizona +2.5.
That is a good point, man. Shit. You do have a point there. Kind of like the last game. I think Seattle wins either way, but will Arizona cover? Shit, man. No, honestly, I think Seattle gets it outright.
All right, there we go. There we go. Seattle +2, or dang it, Seattle -2.5. Keep screwing this. Actually, no, hold on. Daniel, Tennessee +5. Seattle -2.5. There we go. Um, Kansas City
Chargers are favored? Really?
going to the City of Angels. Yeah, because the Chiefs are resting everyone.
Okay.
Um, Kansas City going to the City of Angels, where the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites. Despite that, I'm still taking this, despite what I literally just said about them resting everyone. I'm still taking the Chiefs just because the Chargers are abysmal.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, I get the
I mean, it's
Chiefs are
Easton
resting
Stick.
people.
It's Easton Stick. Like Blaine Gabbert's better than Easton Stick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Andy Reid's still coaching.
Hmm.
I take the Chiefs. Yeah, they should win
Yeah,
that game.
yeah, there we go. And we're getting points. There we go. I like it. Um, Here we
Well, the
go. Here's
Rams are
one that
starting
actually,
Carson Wentz for this game.
yeah, no, this is Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold. So that's a fun one. Um, yeah, Rams resting because they're locked into, I believe they're locked into the 6th seed. Niners locked into the 1 seed. This is a backup bowl here. Niners are 4-point favorites. You get to lead the way, my friend.
I don't know what to take in this one, to be honest with you. I think the Niners win, but the Rams cover.
I agree. I agree. It'll be somewhere in that ish. Yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Cowboys minus
Bro.
13 going to Washington. A Washington team that is very much incentivized to lose in order to get that second overall pick. And a Cowboys team that is trying to get the second seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
If they win this, they get it. So there you go. 13 points is a lot though. So
That's
I'll
the
let
thing.
you
It's
take
like
it away.
Dallas. If it was Dallas at home, I take that easy.
Hmm.
But Dallas on the road, man,
How
they're
much did
not anywhere
Dallas?
near as good on the road.
How much did Dallas beat Washington by earlier in the year? They beat him
Was
by
a lot, yeah.
35. Yeah, they beat him by 35.
But they're not a good road team. So I'm trying to think. Like, I think the Cowboys win either way. I just,
Hmm.
but by 2 touchdowns, shit, I don't know. What was the Niners game was 27-10, right? When they played the commies,
Yeah.
something like that.
Hmm.
Shit, okay. I feel like this should be an easy prediction to make, but I feel like I'm still gonna hate myself for this, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys outright.
With the minus 13, you mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know what? Yeah, I'll do the same.
And I
I'll do the
feel like
same.
you and I are gonna hate ourselves for that pick. It's just but like you said, the commies are so bad. Like, I don't
Yeah, they're horrible. They're horrible. And again, I mean, and I know Sam Howell is getting replaced. So he doesn't care if they lose. Ron Rivera is getting replaced. He doesn't care if they lose. A lot of the players probably are very much like, I don't care if we lose. We're going to be playing to win because at the end of the day, if they win, A, looks look better on their resume. B, it decreases the chances of them drafting Drake May or Caleb Williams next year or Jalen Day or Jaden Daniels. There we go.
yeah.
Um, so yes, but also I just don't think they're that talented. And the Cowboys have see blood in the water. They could get the 2 seed and they could do something with it, hopefully, for them. So yeah, taking the Cowboys. Um, and then finally, Buffalo, Miami in South Beach to end the 2023 regular season. Mercifully, Lord have mercy. This was a brutal regular season, at least for me. Um, I know it was probably fun for you. The Lions season was more fun than Bengals season was. But anyways, um, going down to South Beach, it's gonna be flash. We got Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs. We got um Josh Allen and Tua. Got two of the brighter young running backs in the NFL, and James Cook and Devin Achane. Um, you see, the Bills beat this team by, let me get the exact number. I believe it was right around 30
I want to say it was
back
like
in week
48
three.
to 20 was the
It
score.
was, yep, 48-20. So yeah, 28. Beat him by 4 touchdowns. This game's gonna be a lot closer, but the still Bills are still gonna win by 3. The Bills are gonna cover, and they're gonna get the 2 seed.
Is that your call?
That's my call.
I think Bills win in an absolute blowout. I think they win
Yeah,
again.
there we go.
They blow them out
There we
again.
go. In that case, we only have 2 differences. So for the regular season, then I won the regular season. I've locked in a win in the regular season with that. We'll keep it going in the playoffs though, especially give Rob a chance to um see how that goes. But we'll keep this going as we move through the playoffs as well. But the only difference is this week you got Titans +5 and Seahawks -2.5. While I have the opposite in both of those games. So. Well, next we speak, the playoff picture will be set. The first 18 picks of the NFL draft will be set, and there will be some coaches that were fired. So there's going to be a lot happening here over the next 7 days. So y'all better tune in, stick around, because we'll be talking about it all. We'll be
Big.
talking about it all. And Rob will be back next week because he won't be going to every single Huskies game under the sun. Um, because they'll be done after this Monday. But there you go. That's it for the West Coast Draft Podcast. That's this episode, I should say. Come again, like I said, come back next week. But any closing thoughts there, Mister Listenby?
I hate the NFC North, man. So glad the regular season's done. I just want the playoffs to
The
start.
cockroaches, the slugs, and the guy crying in a bucket.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, I love that. Well, since Rob's not here, I'll go ahead and say it. If one of you hit like, we all hit like. If one of us hit subscribe, we all hit